Okay, you see Rei Zeyar and Shmeis Rabbe, because he was the 15th generation from Avraham Avinu, and B'meila Al Derech, like the 15th day of the month is a full moon. Al Derech Zeh by Shleima was also a full moon. The son, Mashenkin David, it was the Indian, although his Bigematria, the name of David is Bigematria 14, he was the Deir HaYudalet. So sometimes Chassidus pairs it together, that Yudalet and Tesvav, both of them are already Lifierech a full moon, especially when you have a month that's not 30 days. So then it's considered, the 14th is already like in the middle. But in addition to that, it was also because it was Birur B'derech Menucha. Ta'azman ahu ne'emar al ha-menucha v'al ha-nachla. In the time of Shleima Melech, it says, Menucha v'anachala, they came to the peace, they came to inheritance. He didn't have to do anything, he didn't have to send anything, he didn't have to wage war. The Malkis Shva hevia ba'atzma nitzutzis l'shleima m'makem harochik. That Malkis Shva brought the nitzutzis, the sparks to Shleima, from a distant place. She brought him gifts, which means she brought him Poshet in Yonim of refining, Nitzutze Kedusha that belonged to Shleima, sparks of Kedusha, that she brought, she on her own initiated and came and brought it to Shleima, which was Mokim Rochik, Ethiopia or from a different queen, the queen from that country.
Shiva, queen of Shiva.
Shiva.
That's what it's referring to?
Yeah. He didn't have to wage war. He accomplished in a simultaneous way, in a very casual way. He accomplished that the Nitzutzis were refined because they were doing it on their own. They were bringing it to him. Actually, speaking here about the Mile of Shleima, so this is Shleima was the highest level that we had up till now. But as Chassidus explains, especially in the Maimorim of Padav Visholim, that then it'll be a high, in the upcoming redemption, will be a higher level yet of birur, refinement. Because the refinement, although it was coming from them, but there was a certain ashpah that came from above to below also. And Memele, indirectly, they heard about Shleima, they came. Shashal, it'll be lost at love, the refinement will be on the part initiated completely on the part of world itself. So therefore this is a higher refinement, a more cherished and unique refinement.
We have that Hayom Yom about Tisha B'Av, or 15th of Av, talks about these Hayom.
Yeah, at last love you'll be a birodas. Chach, I think he says that it's me'ain, but it's not mam, but lepeil mamish in the Maimorim of Padav Visholim, Tofri Shayin Heit, of Shechavov. So the Rebbe speaks that this is the highest level, is because he just reached the fourth level in Birur of Malchus. The highest level is Mamish, the ultimate level is that the world on its own uplifts itself.
What about, it's mentioned in Rashi and Chumash, there were generations that didn't need Mashiach because it was so high. Like,
They are. The Midbar.
No. Generation of what's that? Mentions.
Chizkiyahu was talking that they Botku Medona Be'er Sheva, and they found that they were well versed in Yonim of Torah mitzvahs, in halacha and everything. And verkehrt, Chizkiyahu was a candidate for Mashiach. Bikesh HaKadosh Baruch Hu lasses Chizkiyahu Mashiach. But he lost out because he didn't thank Hashem for the miracle.
There was a Rashi where he mentions there were generations they didn't need Mashiach.
Okay, so it's their Aveda. Yeah. Okay, laten we gaan weiter. Begdei lahavin shaychas ha'inyan de birur b'derech menucha l'Yerushalayim beis hamikdash. To understand what does it mean birur, refinement in a subtle way, in a subtle format to relating to Yerushalayim beis hamikdash. We need to introduce firstly the beinyan hashras hashchina b'chal beis hamokim, that the hashras hashchina, the dwelling of the shchina of godliness, of the beis hamikdash befrat. And in particular in the Beis Hamikdash, Yeshnam Beis Deis. There's two opinions. Das ha-Rambam Udi'imehu, the opinion of the Rambam Udi'ime means the ones that hold like the Rambam. See all the all the references. You have an Oreit, you have made in Nevuchim, Nisboyer Bavedas HaKedesh, there's another Kabbalah Sefer, and then you have the Mamaar from the Rabbi. The Me'achar Asher Ruchnius Bechlal, Velikus Befratu L'mayla Megeder Mokem, since spirituality in general, and godliness in particular, are higher than the Geder Mokem. It means not only higher than place, the Rebbe is selecting words here. Well, the Maila Megeder Mokem, not even within the range of place. In other words, you can't relate, it's like two different worlds. There's two different channels. Therefore, the dwelling of the Shechina in the Beis Hamikdash, similar to the Rwal Derech Kishakesh V'meiza Seichel Betz Bois Hayat, V'lei Betz Bois Haregel, is like we write a seichel, an intellectual topic, with the fingers, a person's fingers, and not with the toes of his feet. What does it mean? Doesn't mean that his fingers understand seichel. It is that the fingers could actually put it in writing, but not that the fingers themselves understand the seichel that is passing through that they are marking down on a paper, because they're not a vessel for it. Fingers are not seichel, but maybe they're not able to understand seichel. It is only that they are vessels, appropriate vessels, to put it in letters and words. Hine. Since the seichel has to be brought down in a certain dimension, a certain place, in words, in order that it should be brought down in a structure, in a design of letters, it needs to go through the fingers of the hand. He can write a whole day, try to write with the toes of his feet, but it won't work. He has to have at least something that is shaykh, that is appropriate to write it, to put it in writing.
But aren't the fingers the vessel for the intellect?
Then they're not the vessel for the intellect, they're just vessel to transmit the message from the brain into writing. The same thing is also being neged Ashras Hashchina and Beis Hamikdash. The Einza b'derech keli. It's not the pshat that it is b'derech keli, that it's actually a vessel. Vessel b'chlal. When there's a vessel for something, that means that the vessel becomes one thing with the inyan that it's connected with. As the Chassidus brings b'neged the inyan of kelim, eres and kelim, so there's the inyan of chitzonis hakeli, there's pnimis hakeli. Shas l'mashal, you have a vessel. So you have a vessel inside. There's the function. B'meila, since there's two levels of the vessel, so there's also two functions. One is the function of storing the liquid, l'mashal, in a container. So you have the inside of the vessel. What is the purpose of the outside of the vessel, the handle of the vessel, and the lip of the vessel is to give it over, to pour it over into another vessel, which means that the external part of the vessel is to serve something external, but the inside part of the vessel is connected with the inyan itself.
Well, a cup of water, they don't become one thing.
The word is it's more it's inside the vessel, so it's one thing with the vessel. And actually, if the vessel, sometimes one is mashpi on the other. If something is not right with one of them, the other one will go sour. If there's a certain inyan, it absorbs from it. So Chassidus explains the same thing is also with Eidos and Kelim. That the Eir that is outside of the Chitzenis HaKele is only to transmit and to draw down the Eir, the light, the revelation, to something lower than it. Masha'enke, because this is in of Chitzenius, not for himself. It's al derech like a person has a name. What's the purpose of the name? Not for himself. The name is that somebody else should be able to relate to him, so they need a name. Al derech, like I think the Rebbe Rashab says a lashon in a maimer, it's called a beis yad. It's called a handle. Beis yad. A handle to grab onto a person, call him by name. So the question is, why can't you start a conversation without a name? Especially that we see by some groups that they start conversations without a name. So that's a Geschäft. So that's an Indian that the husbands don't. The wife does not refer to the husbands, doesn't refer to the husband by the name, Al derech like the Rebbetzin, the Alter Rebbe's wife, brought na Yemim says, mine says.